you had to do everything: clean boots, clean the change rooms, wait until every professional player had left, organize the pitches in the morning, bring the goals out, organize where all the equipment was. It was quite hard back then, to be honest, but it was good at the same time because you're with your boys like 5 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so you're kind of having fun at the same time, and you definitely build up like a strong relationship with like a few of the guys, and
Ladies and gentlemen, today on the Insight we've got James Justin. James, how you doing, man?
yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Obviously, it's been a long time between us. I ain't spoken a while, but obviously, the connection's still there.
Nah, nah, for sure, man. Just for the people that don't know much about you, just give us a little introduction.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I used to play for Luton Town. That's when I met Leroy, and obviously Leroy was someone that I looked up to in the old age groups. And then obviously Leroy ended up dropping out of football, like to go play in the States, and I continued at Luton, and then finally got my chance after waiting for a while, and then took my chance and got a transfer to Leicester City in the Premier League. And then ever since then, it's just been onwards and upwards, really.
No, that's good, man. Let's obviously wheel it back. How did you start football? Where were you? Like, take us back through it.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was younger, my dad got me into football. Maybe I'd say around 5 or something like that, just at like what little kickers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then actually, my first team was a team called Crawley Green in Luton. When I was about 7 or 8, and then from there, our team was really good. To be fair, we had a few good players that went on to play for academies and the pro game as well. And so I played for them until maybe I was about 9, and then I got scouted by Luton, and then I was playing for Luton from 9 until I think I left when I was maybe 20 or 21. I'm not too sure which one, but yeah, I played all the way up through, played the youth team, and then had got a professional contract. And then in my second year of the professional contract is when I started playing and improving as much as possible. And then ever since then, Luton have been on the up really. So it's helped me in the long run.
No, for sure. Take us back to like obviously when you started at under nines. Like, how was it coming up like through the ranks? Like, was it easy? Was there certain times where like you found it hard and like whatnot? Take me through.
Yeah, so obviously, when we were back that age, I wasn't like amazing to say. I wasn't a standout or anything like that in our age group. I mean, our age group had the likes of Jada Silva, Frankie Masonda, Jamal Lewis. There was a lot of us in the age group that went on to do things in the professional game, and I was never like, I wouldn't ever say I was the best in those age groups, but I was kind of always around that middle pack, and I just kept on trying and trying and trying until like there was a there's a time maybe when you're maybe in year 9 or 10 in high school. So that's about when you're 14, 15 years old. And there's a time where it switches on in your head, like, I got to take this seriously to even have a chance of making it. And that's what I had to do, really.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was talking to Frankie and we were talking about how he was talking about your age group and how it took long for some of you guys to get a scholarship. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how did you feel like around like obviously year nine, year 10, you're obviously doing your GCSEs. Some people are going into A levels, but obviously you're like set on scholarships. So how was that period? Because obviously you're saying you're about in the middle of the pack. How did you push on to eventually getting your scholar?
Yeah, so obviously I thought there was boys more talented than me that were looking to get a scholarship as well. Some of them didn't. And then so I think the first maybe 5 or 6 scholarships for my age have been handed out, and I wasn't one of the first few to get the scholarship. So I had a meeting with the under 18 manager and the under 16 manager at the time, and they were like, "Oh, here's where we need to see you improve. We're going to give you, I think it was like 6 weeks to show what you're made of, basically."
Oh
and
shit.
yeah, so I was one of the last ones to get a scholarship, and then from there I just kept on plugging away, trying to be like good around the training grounds when I got the scholarship, just
Yeah.
so that like whenever they needed me, they could count on me. Really.
No, for sure. Did you ever like feel on edge, kind of? Because like you're the last one to get one. So did you? How did you feel going into the scholarship? Like when it officially
Well,
started?
yeah. So obviously I was super excited, but like there was also a part of me because at the time Luton were in a conference, and so like obviously I think you were a third year at the time.
Yeah.
The place was like a bit up and down. Like some of the first team members were like messing about and stuff like that. So it's hard being like doing all the jobs that you had to do. Like you done it for 3 years, innit? So like we had to you had to do everything: clean boots, clean the change rooms, wait until every professional player had left, organize the pitches in the morning, bring the goals out, organize where all the equipment was. It was quite hard back then, to be honest, but it was good at the same time because you're with your boys like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Um, so you're kind of having fun at the same time, and you definitely build up like a strong relationship with like a few of the guys, and yeah, I was really excited, to be fair, going straight into the scholarship.
True. Talking about the jobs and stuff, I don't know how I think I was talking to
Hmm.
Tyreek. Like, how did, okay, when I was there, obviously it was mad. Like, we literally were cleaning kitchen, boots, the balls. Like, did it carry on like that throughout? And obviously, when you ended up going pro, did it simmer down or has it always been the same?
Yeah, well, for me, because I was like a lucky one, like so obviously first year and second year are kind of the same in terms of like you have two pros boots or three pros boots that you need to clean, this, that, and the other. But like the jobs never died down until we actually moved training ground to the Brace that we're at
Uh,
now. The jobs never actually died down until then, really. But I think it was like maybe halfway through my first year pro or my second year, I started playing, and like I was kind of brought out of all of that, like nothing in my hands, but like obviously I was glad to be out of that, and I just hope that I never went back and had to do all those jobs and still, but I still helped around as much as I could, obviously, because they're still my guys, and I don't want to see my guys struggling, basically.
no, fair enough. Talk us through obviously the professional contract. How did it come about? Who did you tell first? Like, did it come at a time when you knew it was coming? Like, take us back through, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was um, November, maybe 2016. I think it was when I signed. So I've been doing well in the youth team. I was in my second year of the scholarship. Um, so it was me and Frankie that were doing well and playing a lot of reserve games and putting in good performances and showing off the pitch as well that we're like maturing and turning into men, which is what they want to see. And I've never actually thought about the professional contract or thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna get one definitely.
Yeah.
But it was after a reserve match at Kenilworth Roads where Paul Driver and I'm not too sure who was the manager at the time. I think it was John Still.
Yeah.
Brought me into his office and said, "We're going to offer you a professional contract," and it was crazy, man. Like I wasn't expecting it at all, but like so before the game, they must have obviously they knew that they were going to offer me one, so they told my mum and dad
Okay.
before me, and like asked them to obviously keep it hush, and so when I got back into the change room after the game and then went into the boardroom, my mum and dad were waiting there basically to congratulate me and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good story.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fuck. But yeah, that's crazy. So how did you push on from there? Because you see it when we're growing up, like a lot of people may get their first year pro or oh, hello?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
still
yeah,
here.
yeah. No, I was saying you see it when obviously we're growing up and stuff at Luton, a lot of people get their first year pro, or some, but they don't really kick on from there. How was your mentality moving forward after you got your pro?
I think it was like basically more of the same, just keep on trying to continue what I was doing on the pitch and off the pitch. But like at the end of the day, like you can be as talented as you want, or you can be the best player in your age group, this, that, and the other. But it's just about the chances that you get and whether you take them really. Because some people you never know, like they might be really talented, but they never actually get the chance to
Yeah.
show it in the first team, which is where it matters. And I was lucky enough to get like a few chances in the first team and train with them a lot. And so I improved as a player and I showed them what I was capable of. And yeah, I was basically one of the lucky ones to get a chance in front of them.
No, for sure. Were you nervous? Obviously, we knew how change rooms were between the youth team and the first team. Were you nervous, like finally taking that step into the first team change room, or were you like, okay,
Well, to be fair, like there was a good crew of us young guys and that had been moved over to the first team dressing room. But there was like two parts of the first team dressing room.
yeah,
There was like the season pros in one end, and then there was
yeah,
like the first, second, and third year pros in the other end.
yeah,
So I was in the other end, obviously. So it was kind of, we still had a good squad in there. I think it was like me. I think Reese was there still at the time. Zane was there. Kingy was there. Frankie was
yeah.
there. So there was still a good squad in there to like familiar faces and that. So it wasn't too hard incorporating into their changing room. But
Yeah.
obviously, when I think it was when John still left and Nathan Jones took over, like there was a lot of change
Okay.
in the dressing room and like how he wanted to like push the young players forward and kind of the older players were kind of put on the back foot and stuff like that. So obviously they didn't like it, but you could tell there was going to be change and there was a um chance for you to get on the pitch and get minutes, which is what happened. So overall that change was good because obviously you know how it was under Stilly. It was like kind of like old school, like uh percentages, this, that, and the other, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
worked for him and Luton for a good few years. And but like when the new gaffer come in, Nathan Jones, it was a lot different compared to what I was used to, and it was a big learning curve, to be fair.
No, true. What were the like? Obviously, which one did you prefer more? And then, like, how did that? When obviously Nathan came in, did that give you like more motivation to push forward? Because sometimes some managers already have like who they want to play and whatnot, and it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
cool, keep working hard and you'll get your chance. But then was it a lot more different in terms of your mentality once you saw Nathan come in? He was like changing a couple of things around.
yeah. I mean, obviously, when John Still was here, like it was great playing under him and learning different things that I wasn't really used to.
Yeah,
But when like Nathan Jones come in, it was more adapted to the style of play that I wanted to play and we've been taught to play since we've been young, and so that kind of played into my hands a bit. And I feel like it was, I wouldn't say easy to like incorporate his style of play, but like I slotted in like a glove basically.
yeah,
But it's like hard to see. So sometimes you might like there might be a guy younger than you getting chosen to train with the first team or something like that, and you're not training with them. So it's kind of a thing in your head. You've always got to believe in yourself, and when you get that chance, you got impressed really because obviously you can't go around comparing yourself with others because like there's always someone younger, there's always someone better, unless you're like the pinnacle, unless you're Messi, Ronaldo, there's
yeah.
always someone younger and coming through this the starlet and stuff like that. So it's hard to take, but it's definitely something that you got to overcome in football, and it's at the end of the day you're gonna get it all through your career.
No, for sure. How was it finally making your full debut?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like so I made my debut at the end of the last game of the season against Exeter one season, and then the following season, my first game was in the Carabao Cup against Villa, where I
Yeah,
started. I played at left back as well, I was
Yeah,
like, when
I
he
seen
when he
that.
yeah, when he told me I was playing, I was so nervous, but like, I put in a good performance, and obviously from then I think I played basically the rest of the season and then the playoffs after that. So um, it just goes to show us like sometimes it's luck. Like you never know what position, because when you're younger, obviously they try to shift you in positions just to fill holes really and make up bodies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But obviously, you just got to adapt to whatever, and whatever's thrown at you, you got to overcome basically.
No, for sure. Talk me through that position thing because I feel like that's like it's not a major thing, but I think that's like quite a frequent thing in like today. Obviously, they bring us up to have an understanding of different positions. But I know that you started as a centre mid and you're playing right back and you played left back in that game. How do you mentally adapt yourself to playing them positions first and then to, regardless of where you play, putting in the best like performance you can?
Yeah, it's a weird one because obviously I started as a centre mid, and then like the centre mid route was blocked up basically with the players that are above me, where it was like you, Reece in the same position. So like I kind of thought to myself, and the managers also thought, and like he's not going to come through here. Like his skill set might be suited to a different position, or it might just be like we need an extra body for the reserve game. So you're going to play right back like for this game, and then play well, and then you're a right back basically.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's basically how it happens. And so like I just kind of took to it like a fish in water, because like when you're doing tactics and that, you kind of like you don't just listen to about what your position is. Like you have to take in other positions, because when you're on the pitch, you need to know what they're thinking and what like their movements are going to be, so that you know that when you get the ball. And so that wasn't really too hard for me to move from centre mid to right back, and now playing left back as well. So, but it's also something that like you should never try and like only learn one position as much as you can. It's like trying to get an understanding of every position around you, because when you get into the first team and it's like youth team, there's a lot of good players at every position. So you just got to take what you can get really.
no, for sure. And like expanding more on the thought process of like you need to know what the opposition are going to do and stuff like that. How has your game intelligence grown from obviously playing youth team to obviously playing at Luton to playing more games? Like, what was the thing that you found like the most difference when you're playing like first team, first team?
I think it's like just the preparation from youth team that we got from drives actually was really good before the game. And also we had a analyst that used to send me clips of the players that might be playing against me then like the night before, so I could just like have a little watch and see what kind of things they're about. So that was actually really good for a youth team level back in the day. And when we got to the first team, it was basically much of the same
Yeah.
at Luton anyway. But since we've got to Leicester, there's just like more money, more staff, um, more resources, so that like you can learn anyone's ins and outs basically, or if you ask for it. Like the detailed stuff that they come up with, they must have like meetings for 3 4 hours trying to decide what formation, how we're going to exploit this team and that team, what are our strengths against their weaknesses, what are their strengths against our weaknesses. And so like they kind of adapt it, and they try and all condense it into like one 15-minute meeting. So which is hard, and it's a lot of information, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like the football pitch always stay the same. The goalposts never move, so you just got to take it as you can.
True.
I was like super nervous as well, like because it's the first time I've been in a whole England setup, and like you see players walking around, you seen first team England players walking around, like and saying hi to you like it's nothing, and it's
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like wow, like I watch you on TV every weekend, and now I'm like training at the same place as you.